I mean, this used to be their stomping ground, right? This used to be the map that they could count on to get the job done. Although a couple of their players have had shaky performances on the past in this map, they were pretty long ago. So we should be expecting to see Envy have once again the edge. And it's on call. I mean, yeah, that's the main thing. It's just like Kenny. I don't think that Kenny will ever forget his performance at Cologne on this map, and neither will we. But NBK doesn't have to think about anything anymore. He's dead.
Yeah, and that was Adrian with a very good kill, and as long as he can peek down here, he's getting us some really good information. Does realize that Kenny is still in the corner. That's so frustrating for Envy now. It's hard for them to surprise anyone with like a big rush or a big execute here, because as long as they know Kenny's there, there's only really 3 other terrorists on the map that they have to worry about now. They're going to try and see if they can push him back a bit, and that's definitely a good choice here. Dren still taking the fight. Flashbang coming in as well. We still have a 4-on-5 on our hands here with Envy getting a little bit of control back.
What's important is that Kenny is the one carrying the utility. So he's the one who's supposed to set up the nades. If he dies, you lose 2 flash grenades. All you get is the smoke off of him. So you absolutely want to keep Kenny alive at this point so that you can get that utility into play. And there we go. The smoke goes out, followed by the flash. Kenny still has 1, but Spades and Doja are going to find big kills. Adrian on the site, or rather on plateau, is going to shut down Kenny. That drops the bomb, and it's all unhappy now in a 1v3.
Man, what an unfortunate start here. I mean, I think as soon as Kenny gets trapped in that corner... Oh, grenade though, is it going to attack him? Yeah, 1 health left on Adrian, so he's going to be going down. Happy looking for a bit more. He's got the triple. He's essentially looking for the ace clutch here, and there's the quad kill. Now it's a 1-on-1, Doja versus Happy, and does he realize he's back there? It seems like it. Happy just needs a single headshot here, and it's going to be all done with. And 10 seconds left. He has to find Doja before the clock runs down. Doja sneaking around the corner. There comes the Tech9. He's looking for the ace, but he's not going to get it. Doja will take him out, and that's in the last second almost. Gambit are going to win the round. Man, that could have been it.
You know, deep breath there, right? Because you're holding it the entire time as Happy creeps closer and closer. If he'd had an extra 5 seconds to work with, who knows what would have happened there. But he was able to force the fight. He just wasn't able to find the headshot at the end. And he even had that raid boss strat going, right? Where he had the Tech9 and the Kevlar. He's looking so good. Still, just a shaky start, and quite a performance from Adrian on the site. I mean, on plateau. Why do I keep saying the site? On the plateau, where he was playing from. I mean, he drops Kenny. He got the first kill on NBK. Adrian really just threw a wrench in things for Gambit. You can't count on Happy to get a quad kill or an ace clutch every round, right? You need to find out how to deal with Adrian before you get anywhere else.
So around where they buy a lot of deagles, which I kind of feel like, as we were seeing earlier with Complexity, how much success they had rushing this bomb site with Tech9 armor. I kind of would have wished that Envy would have gone for that instead of the deagles, because deagles sort of imply that you're looking for slow battles, long fights there. Doja with the shoulder peek to just spot out Apex and falls back immediately. And Dren is playing on the new stairwell there.
He seems to really want to take advantage of this position. It's a pretty smart place as well with the shotgun, considering they have to run up the plateau to get control of that part of the map if they want to make a play towards B. But right now, Envy, they've kind of left themselves open. They have some options because they're starting to work back towards A. They want to see if they can't catch somebody out of position here, and it nearly works. Devil almost caught out with a nade in his hand there. Very close call. HE right dead on, and they stack up. NBK taking monstrous damage, and Mo's still alive, but he'll eventually get run down by Devil. Hooch alive in Little Hut, though. He's going to be able to get the trade kill, and we're into a 4-on-4 take onto the A site.
Oh, that's a good transfer. Picks up a double, jumps to try and find that shot from Devil, who does pick up a double kill, and looking for a third one. Not going to happen, though. It was an expensive round for Gambit. Losing 3 players, maybe a little bit unfortunate. Third round is coming up, but Envy won't be able to buy anything here. So you got to expect that Gambit can make up for this in the upcoming round. But look at this transfer here from Hooch. That's pretty good.
That's a brutal one. With the FAMAS as well, that isn't easy. One of the more tricky guns to actually get a clean spray with, so definitely, I mean, solid work still. 2 guys surviving, though. Not ideal. They did save the FAMAS, but still, it was definitely a little bit too close for comfort there for Gambit. So we'll see. This is a round where Gambit, they should be feeling pretty good, though. They've got the shotgun. They have the MP9 on move, so hopefully he's going to be the one picking up some kills. You definitely want him to get that SMG money, get that extra 600, and he is going to line them up and only pick up the 1 kill. Somehow, 2 players for Envy survive on 4 HP each. So sometimes that's just the way it goes, Anders.
Yeah, I mean, 1 more bullet maybe could have tanked up both of them, and that would have been a much better trade, obviously. the question is still sort of does it really matter in terms of the outcome of the round? Then probably not, right? I love that gangster style that Devil is pulling there.
I'm just more like clenching my teeth because it's just like Apex, don't slip and pull it. You know, pull the trigger when your teammate's got 4 HP.
Yeah, Adrian here. Molotov to go out. If it had landed on the other side, that could have been a little bit interesting. Doja's going to get a chance to do something, but it'll be the Max 7 instead here to do a lot of kills in. And the round will still go in favor of Gambit. So 3-0, and now is the real test for Envy. Can't really buy the AWP early on, but you don't really need it so much on the terrorist side. I think it's all right.
No, it's... Oh, but Kenny is actually going to be able to just snake it.
Now, see, that on the other hand, I don't think is a good idea.
Because they're so light on nades?
Mostly because I feel like most of the places where you could try and sneak in and get like a sneaky kill with the AWP to open up the round with, you're likely to receive a lot of grenades in return. And without the armor, that's a bit of an issue. So that's my big worry, is that without the armor, he's going to run right into an HE. Or he's going to play so defensively because he's afraid of that there won't be much point in having it anyway. So that was my reasoning.
That's fair. I mean, they want to try and get clever and boost him up so you can look over that smoke in case Adrian decides to peek on the plateau to get info later on in the round. Kenny will be in a prime position to try and pick him off. But already Gambit showing that they're not interested for now. They've got the nades, so they're making use of them. Apex, though, finally going to make his play for drop. So that comes down to Doja, who's going to win the duel. Apex just comes around the corner, rips his head off. Will get traded by Spaze, though. And nobody in position for EnVyUs to trade the kill or try and follow up on it. So Apex just getting a little ahead of himself there. Trying to be the hero.
Doja being, like, very, very loud when he walked in there, just running and stomping all over the place. So Apex had a pretty good clue, I think. They don't have any Molotovs to get rid of Adrian on this position, so that's a bit unfortunate for them. They got to get close to the Max 7, but a good opening there. NBK shutting it down and moving closer, getting a second kill as well. Looking for the third click. It's going to be Kenny to take care of Spaze and Mo alone, and we'll get a kill on Kenny. Shouldn't try and push it any further. I think he saved the AWP, and not going to happen. So good round from Envy overall. NBK with 2 very important kills there.
Yeah, the big one on Adrian basically shutting down that plateau play. That opens up the whole site, allows him to start flanking onto it and put the pressure on the man holding on the site itself. I mean, they saved the AWP for Kenny, so it's not the end of the world that he dies. I mean, he literally had nothing apart from the AWP, so he'll be able to get fully equipped this round. And it's looking pretty solid here for Envy. They get over the first hump, which is to win that first buy round. Now, Gambit, because of how close some of those rounds were at the beginning, they aren't going to go for a force buy. So EnVyUs have a real chance to start stacking up some money here. And it's actually Gambit going so far as to kind of go for the gamble here. 4 players on B site early on. Just now rotating Adrian back towards that A site in case EnVyUs try to pounce.
Mo gonna turn the corner. A bit of damage to Apex, but not something that's really going to make a difference in the round. Hooch going down as well, happy. Could get flanked, coming up the stairwell there. Is Doja waiting, but he can't get the kill, and it is a flawless round for the Frenchman, which is definitely good news here. That's going to make it 2-3. And finally, Gambit will have money again, including that AWP and Mo. So we'll see if they could switch up the defense and make it a bit interesting.
I'm curious to see if Mo is going to try and take it over towards long A again. So, I mean, that is one of the more likely spots that you will see the AWP come into play. And, well, really, it's one of the few spots that the CTs actually have to work with as far as aggression is concerned. So, instead, it's going to be Hooch making his way over there alone. 4 players, once again, going towards that B site for Gambit. So, this is definitely turning into kind of their default play in case EnVyUs try and go for a turn of speed. By rushing out onto the B site, 4 players would be here for Gambit. But EnVyUs, man, they are just content to sit back and play very default, very slow kind of CS.
It's like we were seeing on Dust 2, right? It really seems to be a change of pace for them. But, I mean, at the same time, it's a style that so many other teams are using. So it's really only because it's Envy that we're sort of, wondering about it. They did win that map, so maybe we can't complain too much. That's a good little Molotov that we've seen a couple of times before, just to make sure that no one's hiding in the corner. And they forced Gambit quite far back on the map, so they have a lot of space to work around with here. See if Adrian, who's holding close to middle, at the very least he has to trade, and if he get 2 kills, then this is a very good position. NBK is right around the corner, and looked like he beat the timing just a little bit there. 19 health left and a 4 vs 5. Oh, there's a good kill coming through. Kenny with one, Devil with the follow-up. UMP close range, though, and Apex is right behind. Is going to be picking up the shot, making it a 2-on-3, 35 seconds. They're bringing the bomb back to B because they've got that under control. Happy's already cleared it out, so Spaze and Mo, they're fighting for a bomb site where nothing much is going to happen.
And they're losing it, too. Apex finds the kill on Mo, or rather, no, on Spaze. Mo is going to find the pick on Apex, brings it back to a 1v2, but now he has to worry about the flank coming through, and unfortunately for him, Happy right in his face as he comes through the door into connector. And that really opens things up now for Envy. They tie it 3-3 as far as the score is concerned, but Gambit, their economy is completely shattered at this point. And so now Envy, they get to dictate the pace. They get to set, well, they get to control the whole first half now from here on out. It's on their shoulders. It's up to Gambit now to try and break that hold. But for Envy, I'm curious now if they actually try and just go super aggressive somewhere, if it's they're gonna continue trying to go for this this default play. Because they have to realize that Gambit, their money must be in tatters. So do you want to slow play it, or do you want to just go out and get control of Plateau? And it looks like that's going to be the case. MBK waiting patiently to see if there are going to be any early nades. But when those early nades don't come in, he has to know. And yeah, he spots out Adrian. What a headshot from Adrian, though. That was just a jiggle peek straight up and just annihilates MBK.
Still got to be careful. Doja's in the site with a Deagle, and Spaze actually playing close. Going to be taking out Apex. Good return from Kenny, trying with the follow-up. Doja is alone, so it will be the round for Enemy. Just losing a couple of players, but nothing they can't recover from. 4-3 here. And I think at this point they're committed to playing this style. And I wonder, the problem that I have with it almost is so many other teams play this style, and I think there are other teams that maybe played better as well right now. So it is a risk, I would say.
I think the question is going to be like, when do they, like, if things get rough for them, how do they change? What do they alter in their game plan? Because that's what a lot of these other teams that you're mentioning, you know, they have a system, and that system is like each step of the way. So, I mean, if things get hairy, well, Apex running into the site, that's one way to do it. Doja is going to be able to pick off Devil as well. So that leaves it in a 3-on-5 scenario, unless MBK can come up with something heroic. He finds one headshot. Space still goes for the peaks, but eventually he'll get the job done. Drops MBK. It's Kenny and Happy now, the last two alive for Envy. And Doja just barely makes it out in one piece, but that opens it up for Kenny to pick off Hooch.
Oh, Kenny wants him to make that jump again. He's daring him to do it right now. Grenade. Is he going to trigger him? Creeping close. Could have been a shot. Looked like it should have been a shot for Kenny there. And now all on Happy, and he gets caught jumping up. So a good round for Gambit. Will tie up the scoreline at 4-4. They will have money on the Envy side. There's 10,600 on Devil, so if nothing else, he's got a lot of money to pass around.
It's just surprising to see the brick wall that gets hit there. And what? What is this? Double Mac 10? They have to know that Gambit are going to be fully equipped right now. This is something that, like, okay, so I think it was at the qualifiers, and Uber called out Apex at one point in an interview and asked, you know, like, why are you guys continuing to, like, buy these Mac 10s? And Apex was just like, well, you know, it's like we're just maintaining our money for the next round. But this to me is nuts. You know that they're fully equipped, and yet still, SMG, Doja's there. 2 kills for NBK, though. He's going to make it close. But it's still a man advantage now for Gambit going onto the B site, and the bomb isn't even on the site yet.
A really good job for Happy getting that kill on Space. That means they can at least get the bomb down. Oh, and that's a headshot for Apex. Taking one and then a follow-up. Great double kill for Apex. And that will be a round for Envy. I've got to agree, though. At least they use the Mac 10s to try and get into the bomb side, but there is still a level of nonsense involved in that. Like, yes, if you get the kills, then you can make the money back, but I don't think it's worth it.
It just feels to me like a huge risk. Because I mean, imagine, hey, it's as simple as, well, you know, we'll get the kills, right? But it's like, also imagine NBK doesn't get them to line up right in front of him and get 2 kills for free. Like, you're done, you're out of the round. You're not able to get in there and fight with those Mac 10s close quarters. It's just, yeah, interesting decision coming out from Envy, and a little bit of a shoulder peek coming in. NBK will not allow Doja to live. So that's Plateau, at least one player from Plateau cleared off. Rotation is coming out from Hooch from the A site, as well as Mo. They're just fully going to stack on this B side, it looks like, Gambit. EnVyUs have been, well, I mean, they've been going towards B pretty much nearly every round now, so might as well take the risk at this point. Just allow Envy to commit to the site and hope that the pistols will prevail.
Well, you say it, and it pops up Mo picking up a kill, but then MBK will close out the round with a quad kill. Could be one more maybe for the ace. It's just Hoocher staying alive. And he's got an AK that he's stolen. Again, if they make the mistake of finding him one at a time, it is possible. But if they decide to group up and just play it safe as a team, it's not going to happen. And there's the ace coming out of NBK. So another good round there. And that's got to make the team feel a little bit good, right? 6-4 being the scoreline. See how far they can go.
Yeah, they're starting to look very solid now, Envy. They've recovered on the economy front. They're ahead in rounds right now, 6-4. It's all on Gambit now to try and turn things around. Don't want to really wind up with that complexity scoreline down 0-2 in the groups. If they could try and tie it up 1-1 with Envy, that's going to make the group very interesting. They're certainly capable of it. So let's see. Can they turn it around in this round? It's another force buy coming out from them. An SMG, a shotgun, 3 rifles, very low on nades, and only Spades has a kit here for Gambit.
And we are seeing just the normal, the default setup here coming out of Gambit. 4 in B and 1 in A, and Apex just again on Dust 2. They went so far as to run boost him into the bomb side. Doe's just trying to catch him here, and he's going to be successful. Running and gunning with the P90, always a fun time. And it will be a 4-on-4 situation. Now the problem is when Apex goes down, part of the flank that was meant to help out this push that's coming into the A bomb side is now going to be gone. So it's a little bit less effective unless they can get the kill on Mo. They're trying to sort of Molotov out the most common positions. A couple of grenades running through as they are bringing the bomb now back towards the other bomb site. And Adren goes down to Happy, and that's the big kill in this round so far.
That's the biggest one, yeah. It opens up the B site. Now his teammates can actually rotate in fully. They know that there was one player at least on the A site. Somehow Happy decides to push into connector, and he gets, well, punished. That's going to leave it down to Devil and Kenny now as the last 2 players remaining here for Envy. Devil with a little bit of a peek, spots out Doja. Incendiaries all over the place, just firebombing that house.
And the big problem is Mo's also sneaking out from behind. And actually, Kenny sees that coming. That's really heads-up play. That might give them a bit of a chance here. It's a 2-on-2 with the bomb down. And this is a big round. Devil, one click onto Space is going to be taking him out. And Doja goes down. Kenny with a double kill. And Envy making it 7-4. That's a really big win for them. Right as Gambit had money to buy, they get shut out again. And now they're back to pistols.
They start feeling good again here, actually. You can see Kenny dead on with the read. You're right. The flank from Mo could have made all of the difference coming in on plateau like that. But Kenny, man, he was prepared. He shut it down. They remembered the essentials, the basics, basically, of holding on to that bomb site. You always have to be aware of that flank. But also, I mean, a good reaction. Happy, he might have gone a bit too aggressive in connector, but he did get the initial kill that opened up the B site for him. That was taking down Adrian, so solid work coming out from Envy right now, and it's just going to continue being a bit of a sob story here for Gambit because they just don't have any money. They're stuck on pistols round after round. Envious, ever since that first rifle round, they've just controlled the economy so well that Gambit, they never really seem to be able to get their feet under them.
It's the life of a counter-terrorist playing on cobblestone, it seems. There's just not... I mean, it is really hard to keep any kind of economy going.
Very clean.
Yeah, definitely. Happy just seems to be starting to wake up a little bit.
Not a huge fan of that.
The charging in?
No.
Thing is, I kind of want to see Happy do that. It is ridiculous. I do admit, I am sort of in my... You know, I kind of want to have my cake and eat it both here because I feel like when Envy were doing like sort of the mad rush, we were always complaining and saying, you know, like this is not real Counter-Strike. They're just sort of making a mockery of the game and charging all over the place. And now that they're not doing it, you know, everyone feels like where's the real Envy?
I mean, that's fair, but at the same time, it's just like I mean, okay. Charging all over the place, right, to open up the round, yeah. Charging into close quarters connector, stomping as well, not even trying to sneak in, just stomping into a place where a guy with a CZ or a P250 or a 5.7 or a Deagle or anything is going to be able to just one-shot you. That's where it's like, and let me give him an AK too, dude.
Yeah, and even in the glory days of Envy, that was an issue for them, that they would be unable to stop that kind of mentality, right? So it sometimes backfire on them. It just seemed to work more often than not. Mo trying to take an aggressive position, but not inclined to push forward. Adrian going to be picking up a kill on Apex again, who's trying to open up all on his own. Puts Envy in a strange position now.
Well, until Devil's able to find an opening kill from Underpass. onto Moon, so that's going to open things up. Devil taking point, calls out that he's actually spotted a man in the open, full flash, still gets the kill on Adrian, and it's Hooch alive on the site. Devil going to be able to communicate that to his teammates, though, so the element of surprise is gone, and Doja just decides to go ultra aggressive. Fittingly, he gets punished there. And now, I mean, this is all on Happy, I'm about to say, exactly, with the flank. NBK finds the headshot on Hooch, but Happy takes out the rotator, and that's the big play right there. It opens up everything on that A site.
Yeah, we have an audience in here as well who's shown up in the meantime, which is really good news.
A big one today, too.
Yeah, everyone coming in to hang out here at the Atlanta studio. Very, very good stuff. 9-4 is the scoreline moving into the 14th round. And again, Gambit without any kind of money. It's just round for round. It's like every other round, they just have to eco.
And some of these rounds are just dominant Envy wins as well, where it's like 3-4 guys surviving. That's not going to cut it if you're Gambit. This just means that Envy are perpetually going to buy. I mean, Envy, man, this slow, measured pace that they've set, very thorough, like going into the defaults, rather, looking for duels, it's worked out perfectly. It's a kind of a different story than what we saw from Complexity this morning, which was much more of the YOLO, rush onto the sites, look for the big fights kind of play. Doja, he will find one kill. Hooch as well actually takes out Devil, but that was more towards the A side of things. So Hooch, he should be able to pick up an AK and yeah, just turns tail and runs. He doesn't want to have anything to do with this take on the B site. Only problem is he's running right back into, well, Kenny and NBK. They were both ready to wait for him there, so. Envy on double digits here on Cobblestone. 10 rounds for them versus the 4 for Gambit. And yeah, again, Kenny wins the duel versus Adrian. So now, I mean, in the last round of this first half, what is really left to Gambit? What can they actually try and do to change things up? Because they haven't really gone aggro A too much, but then there really hasn't been much action on A. EnVyUs have pretty much gone to B site every round, so then that kind of limits you to what, like boosting and drop, or hoping that you get lucky on plateau. None of it has really been working for Gambit.
It is the eternal struggle on this map when you're playing on the CT side to figure out how you, because, they are just running the same setup, which is what a lot of teams do. The options you have for going aggressive exclusively involve a lot of risk. There's no way to avoid that risk, really. Not one that anyone has found anyway. So you just end up playing your default and you hope you win the first fight. Apart from that, I won't say it's impossible that someone could come up with something, but so far it seems like it's not really happening. Maybe at the major. Flashbang in, and Apex again with the charge in, not quite winning the fight here again, but that is the length of an entry fragger. They're going to see if they can try and follow it up. Good set of grenades coming in here, and the rest of Envy moving out onto the plateau.
Yeah, this time that actually works. They do have the crossfire. It's not just Doja playing passive and drop. Doja will catch Happy eventually. This time it was a solid crossfire setup. Devil, though, trying to open things up. He's only going to get the one kill, and that drops the bomb in a bit of an awkward spot below the tree. So now it's down to NBK and Kenny, the last two alive here for Envy. Kenny should be able to recover the bomb, but he's on his own now in a 1v4, and he misses the first shot. And that pretty much ties it up. 5 rounds for Gambit, 10 for Envy. I mean, adjustments were made, but in the last round, right, it's just too little too late here for Gambit.
Yeah, it definitely seemed like it, didn't it? Overall, I mean, I think Envy were in charge of most of it, and if Gambit hadn't won the pistol round in the following 2 rounds, this could have been a very ugly scoreline. So I think they got sort of what they could out of it, but Envy seems to be showing up. When we get into the second half, we'll see if Gambit can make it back somehow on the terrorist side.
down. I mean,
Welcome back, everybody. We've got the second half coming up here between Gambit and Envy, and it should be very interesting. I mean, it was a good first half, I think, for Envy. I think they're going to be satisfied with it, but if they don't win the pistol round, who knows where it can go. I think Gambit could still realistically make it back in this game.
exactly. I don't think that it's the end of the world for Gambit. We're not talking about an 11-4 or 12-3 finish here for Envy at the first half. 10-5. I mean, you win that pistol if you're Gambit, and you're right back into this fight. So Envy, they have to keep focused, and they have to make sure that they can actually just get that lockdown going on their CT side. And I mean, you already have the battle here between the two. X-God, NBK. I mean, NBK also just... He had, what, the anti-eco ace. I mean, fluffed his numbers a little bit there, buffed him a little bit, right? But,
yeah, and again, a big welcome to the audience here. Make a bit of noise, guys, and let's get this energy level just a little bit up here. Yeah, there we go. Gambit and Envy trying to see if they can close this one out. A lot of armor here on the Gambit side, and they're charging right in at space opening up, but they forgot about Happy in the corner. He's going to get a little kill in there, and now it's a 3-on-3, and Apex peeking, and NVK, they're just not checking the corners, and that's going to cost them the round. 11-5 here, and Envy with a bit of a lead.
yeah, now that's actually... You know, I just went on, how Gambit, they still have a chance. They can turn it around here. Wow, even an Envy hoodie in the crowd. Is there another Envy hoodie in the crowd? Like, because it always feels like there's just like the one solo fan that shows up where he's got the jersey, or he's got the hoodie, or the sign. Nope. Nope. I mean, I don't think that Hastro counts, so okay.
We're trying to find the second Envy fan out there somewhere. 11-5 and 17th round coming up. We've got 3 MP9s and then a FAMAS and an M4. So I would say this is just, there's no real clear line between how many SMGs you buy. Some teams seem to think 5 is okay, and some prefer just the 2. Apex will get overrun, and he gives up the 1 MP9, so that's the benefit, is you give it up. It's not such a big loss, really. But they obviously want to play it safe here, Envy, and don't really give any chance for Gambit to get back in the game.
I'm just not a huge fan of that setup where you just leave one guy over towards Danger or towards Hall. Like, Danger in particular, because there's just no backing off. If they get control of Underpass and they're behind you at long, there's nowhere to go. You're a dead man, right? As Apex finds out there. No flash, no nothing to save him. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not a huge fan. That's just a little nitpicking there, but I'm not a huge fan of that setup on the A site. Still, Gambit, they're going to commit to the B site. Now they have something to play with. NBK is going to be able to start the party, but Hooch is there to trade kill, and Devil holding on the plateau will eventually flank Adrian.
Yeah, very good stuff here from Devil, in fact. It's super important that he takes that fight with Adrian right away, because if he... Oh, there's a second Envy fan right there. If you weren't wrong, there was more than one. So, yeah, so far it's... And a third one as well. I hardly believe it.
North American team, is that it? You know, what's going on here?
Yeah, well, that's weird, isn't it? Because in the world of Counter-Strike, I think of them as like a French organization, as it were, right? But obviously, I guess in Call of Duty, it's different. 18th round is coming up, and a sizable lead right now for Envy, and that was also Gambit's big chance to upset. Dosha trying to be sneaky in that corner, but Apex saw him. And now it seems like we're probably going to be looking at a 13-5 scoreline. So all of a sudden, it seems very one-sided.
Yeah, barring a huge kind of upset scenario, but it's not looking likely. Apex spots out Spaz. Drops him. Another 2 kills for Apex, picked up with that MP9. Could be another one here as well. Is he going to get the 3rd spray down? No, he puts most of those bullets into the wall. Mo's going to be happy about that. And Mo not able to actually take advantage of that SMG, make a little bit of extra money for an AWP in the next round. Instead, it will be... Envy is getting up to that 13th round, 13-5. Massive money on Apex. Drop 6,100 in the round, no problem at all.
Yeah, pretty good stuff, right? The big question is, how do they get back into this game, Gambit? The problem with being this far behind, even if you're on a terrorist-sided map, is that you have really no buffer. If you lose this round and Envy gets a 14, then you can't buy it, and then they're at 15. So this is the one chance you have to stop that from happening, really. And that could put a bit of pressure on you as well. See if they can somehow overcome that and just at least find a good opening frag here, which Envy is set up to not really let them have so easily.
No, there's a lot of pressure actually on Kenny here. He's alone on Plateau. They've put 3 players over on A for Envy, so they're really counting on him. If anybody peeks out on Plateau, now that he's got that long line, he needs to hit that shot and just shut down whoever's going to be peeking for info. He's even going to go with the aggressive smoke. He's actually just saying to Gambit, like, nope, not going to allow you to get anywhere near here. NBK is going to be wise and back off on drop, not going to give that up for free. Although he did spot the man, so he knows definitely now that there's somebody in drop space, kind of giving it up there.
Now look at MBK. He's hoping that someone will sneak through. He's going to be flashed in, but now he can't see anything. And a little bit confusing here. Follow-up grenade not really doing too much damage, but look at the A side of the map. It is a quick trait. The bomb is down there. If Happy doesn't at least get a kill here, things get really bad. That smoke might help him out a lot. He's looking right over it, but Adrian's still winning the fight. And now MBK and Kenny pushing in. Space is right behind them with an AK. They practically line up. And that's going to be a great round for Gambit. Adrian with the triple, and they only lose 2 players.
Yeah, that's actually surprising, given where Happy was positioned like that. First time I think I've seen somebody try and throw a smoke down to block themselves off like that on the slope. So creative play coming out from Happy. Unfortunately, it doesn't work.
It's a bit interesting because who was that peeking early in the middle? Was that Apex?
Yes.
Either way, what's Happy doing in that setup? The only thing that I can think of, the only sort of rationale I can come up with is that Apex is supposed to fall back, and then suddenly instead of there being one player, there's sort of 2 players on that slope, right? That could make sense, but then why did he commit to taking the fight? You know, it's either one or the other. Can't commit to taking the fight and then also using the backup plan.
It doesn't really work that way. Still, I mean, just kinks that need to get worked out here for Envy. Nice flash to open up Plateau. Now they have the line on Kenny. He's kind of stuck here. He has to use that flash to try and fight it back, and he just barely manages to sneak out of here, but he decides to go for the re-peek. This is nuts. Mo's got an AWP, and he's already got the angle. Space is going to take out MBK and drop, and there's Adrian. Just steps forward. Kenny with no Kevlar. It's just aim punch. And now Gambit, they have control of the B site. There is rotation coming in from Devil very quickly, but he's still stuck at connector.
Doing a little bit of damage. One shot could take out Mo as well. That could be interesting. The bomb is making its way across there, and Devil, the backup is finally going to arrive. Wanted to flash his way through, I think. There was a little bit of a chance there. Doja goes down to Apex, who's still lurking over at A, and now Apex can recommit to this fight as well. Who's going to be going down? Devil picking up a kill on Adrian, and now it's all gone bad for Gambit, and Happy taking one out. They win a 3v4 against Gambit. That's got to be such a sour taste in their mouth here. That's really a round they should have won.
Especially from Happy here. That is one big kill onto Hooch, but then spotting out Mo.
I think that was Doja's long-lost little brother, American brother.
We are all one, Anders, right? You know? Doesn't matter from where you are in the world.
I like that. That's deep.
It is deep, you know, it's trying. It's my birthday, and I'm just trying to think about these things, right? You know, it's like, what am I doing with my life? It's another day gone by, another year gone by.
I try not to do that.
What does it all mean?
At all, ever. That's how I stay so happy, Cbble.
It's just the present, man. That's the thing, though. You know, you're closer. The Buddhists, all of that, just live in the present. Don't think about the future. Don't think about the past.
I think they had something going for them there. 14-6, though. Gambit trying to see if they can make it back. A little bit of an attempt there. Adrian running in. Devil really stepping it up in the last couple of rounds and getting a 3rd kill in here. And Doja, last man left. Galil, not even a chance to reload. It's going to be match and map point here, 15-6, with Devil up to 17. And considering how far behind he was earlier, that's a pretty good bit of catching up there.
Yeah, and he also had a bit of a tough first map as well versus Gambit. Didn't really get his flow going until later on in the second half of that first map. So it's good to see, yeah, that he is definitely having an impact here on the CT side of Cbble, and that puts them up to map point now, 15-6. EnVyUs, they have a lot of room for error here, especially considering Gambit. They're going for the Tech 9 YOLO buy. Straight Kevlar, some nades, Tech 9s. No rush, though, interestingly enough. They're definitely slow playing it, but look at this Apex. He's about to get flanked. They're so quickly into danger right now. Does he realize that his back is exposed? Seems like it.
Definitely a very good idea, but it is always a bit of a risk if you make too many assumptions about where they might be able to get to. So 4-on-5 now. And Devil may be inspired by his earlier play. Gonna try and see if he could get that spray home, but Adrian will take him out. MBK actually turns around. I think he thought that was going to be a flash because they stopped running. He assumed that was them setting up for a flashbang, and it wasn't. So now 4 versus 3, and Envy maybe giving them a way to get back in the game here.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward. Now they have 2 rifles to work with. No nades left here on Gambit to stop the retake from coming through. And Apex has made it through the smoke. He's got Kenny to back him as well. And he spots out Hooch on the site. Does he know that Doja is holding close, though? Doja likes to play that chicken coop. There's the first shot. Kenny with the shot. Apex goes charging in, and it's not going to happen. The crossfire is just too effective for Gambit. EnVyUs, they just try to commit, and they get completely stomped into the ground. So now do Envy, like old Envy, they wouldn't even hesitate for a second. And it seems like new Envy, yeah, they're not going to hesitate either. It was a little shaky there. Means that Devil has to kind of cheat a little bit, MBK as well.
I mean, at this scoreline, I have a very hard time seeing Envy losing this match. But they're also playing against Gambit, and we always talk about this idea of closing out games, and it's very important that Envy fine-tune that, because if you were playing a different team, say you were playing, you know, NIP or Fnatic or something on this map, you could end up in a situation where they would make the full comeback here. Devil showing his face, and all of it is going to be gone after that shot from the AWP. Happy down as well.
Oh, this could be the big trap, but no, Kenny trying to force things. He's trying to sneak his way onto the plateau. He's going to get caught. And NBK, he got caught by Hooch earlier. Apex, though, going to work on this UMP. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't watch drop, and Spaze is able to shoot him in the back. But I'm really surprised that Gambit were able to get so many kills, because Envy had 5 players stacked on B there. They were just like, you know what? Screw this. Gambit, just keep going to the B site. We're in a force buy. We're going to call your bluff, right? We're just going to say, you're just going to rush again, aren't you? And yet they still get overrun completely.
Now, that pose that you just so happy to do with the, you know, with his hand on his face looking like, you know, he's the most depressed person, that's not actually a sign. Sometimes you can read people's body language and think, oh, he must be very depressed. Happy looks like that all the time. It doesn't matter how much they're winning, he still has that pose. Don't take too much away from that.
Exactly, right? You know, if they were to ever try, you know, people who achieve greatness, sometimes a statue gets made of that person, right? And it's like this, you know, uplifting, right? The hands to the heavens sort of thing. Like, I am looking at the future. Happy would actually just have the statue like that, right? Because it's always the same thing.
That would be fitting. That's a Photoshop for someone to make. Someone with a lot of Photoshop skills. 4-5 right now. They have the Eagles. They have that 1 AK there on Apex, but they need a little bit more. Gambit, though, looking a bit hesitant at the moment. And again, one mistake here for Gambit, and this map's going to be out of their hands.
Apex has the AK. I think they're trying to figure out, where does Apex usually plays a site, doesn't he? So the mind games are coming in, but they're being very thorough right now, Gambit. They have those 3 players in underpass. The bomb leading the way. Not a big fan of that. If Adrian gets killed, then that commits Gambit to the site. Instead, they're just going to go ahead and say, right, we're going to go to A, whether it works or not. And there's a man on the site already. Kenny gives it up. Now they know. But they have successfully blocked off connector here, Gambit, so they have some room to work with. Devil's going to get caught by Spaze. Adrian finds a kill on Kenny, but Apex putting up a bit of a fight, unfortunately for Happy. It's not looking the right way.
Hooch did almost shoot Spaze then, which was a bit interesting. MBK trying to see if he can make it through. That spam actually looked like it was on point, but he doesn't have any armor, and just in a 1-on-2 like this is going to be very tricky here. Grenade won't make any difference at all. So it's a close round here, but almost impossible for MBK to make it work. They are trying to peek him a little bit there. Hooch reminded not to do that. And that's going to be Gambit taking up another round. I'm almost a bit disappointed that Kenny was so aggressive in showing himself up on the bomb site, because it could have been more interesting if he'd been hiding.
True. He's just getting that info, and I was like, yeah, okay. You guys will see what I'm getting giggly about in a minute here. Because Apex is, or rather Kenny has gone for a glass cannon op. He had 4750. He spent all 4750 on the sniper rifle. That's the kind of Kenny I want to see. The guy who's going to buy an op every round, no matter the odds. Just get that sniper rifle into play and shut down Gambit. We'll see.
Yeah, and unlike on the T side, where I was a little bit, you know, disappointed in the glass cannon AWP, on the TCT side, there are 100 places you can go where you won't be hit with grenades. So, interestingly, one of the ones that he's in is where you can get hit with a grenade, but that's all right.
Because it's Kenny. You're right. I mean, I like to see this boost being used here. This is a clever one, because if those stairs come into play at the back of the plateau, Mo, he's got a good angle to just watch the whole plateau, kind of canvas the whole thing. Devil, you know, thinking about the shoulder peek, hesitating. In the meantime, NBK found a kill and dropped that Spaze down. So a man advantage now for Envy. With 1 minute, 8 seconds left on this clock, Gambit now have to start wondering what they can do, because they only have 2 flashes and 2 smokes to work with. So an execute, it's a bit of a stretch.
Doja not quite getting the angle. He had to go a little bit further right then. Molo hoping to find the opening here, but right now it's a 5 versus 3. Hooch with a good strong kill coming through, taking down Happy. They need to go soon. It's only 40 seconds here on the clock, and the bomb's still quite far back, and they haven't even cleared the bomb site. Mo picking up a kill on Devil. That's going to bring it back in a 3-on-3, but NBK is in the back buying chicken coop, and do they realize that? If they don't, this round could be done. Kenny picking up Hooch now. Mo and Adren left, the two Kazakhstanian players looking for a way back in. Apex with a shot, and there it is. Envy going to make it to 69 as they pick up both the maps against Gambit. They won on Dust 2, and they take it away on Cobblestone 2.
And so far as both of the matchups are concerned, all 4 maps, they've gone to the team, the favored team. VP won against Complexity 2-0. Now Envy win against Gambit 2-0. So far, it's looking pretty solid at the top, and we'll see how it's going to break down. I mean, obviously, we have 2 matches today left. That's between Envy and VP.
Yeah.
So we have both winners. It's almost like a double elimination kind of group format going in here, man, because now all of a sudden, it's like the 2 winners are going to be clashing. It's going to be the last match of the day here for the first day of this last group of ELEAGUE. But you guys can see them on their screen. They're going to be coming up next against the Polish team, Virtus Pro. So we'll be back after this break.
Yes, welcome back to ELEAGUE. Of course, we have got our studio audience in. They're joining us now, and they're packed, and they're going to get a treat coming up. But before we talk about EnVyUs versus Virtus Pro, let's break down Gambit and EnVyUs there on Cobblestone. I got to be honest, I think Gambit are going to be a little bit disappointed with that showing there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it kind of played out the same way that the first map did. Again, it was just Adren doing being the most impactful player on that team. Everyone else kind of not really stepping up. But I mean, you mentioned it did at times look like that that T side for Gambit could get something going. But I think that first half out of Envy was just, they looked much more assertive, much more confident. And they just got out to too big of a lead.
And spearheading that drive, of course, was a blazing hot player of the match, as presented by Buffalo Wild Wings. A no-brainer. It was Apex.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about terrorist side here, you're going to get a lot of T-side rounds, and that's obviously where they won these games. When you have Apex going off like this, he's always been somewhere where he's the kind of player for me where when he's nailing that first kill and then he's in position to have a good shot at the second one, you can just start counting double-digit rounds are going to come your way on T-side, because that's when he absolutely wreaks havoc. And when you have a game like this where the guy goes over 50 kills for both maps, you should be winning 2-0.
Hasn't had one this good for a while. It was good, you know.
No, but then again, though, what was worrying to me was how close the series was ultimately, in spite of such an incredible performance over the 2 maps from him. You know, it shouldn't take that much to secure wins over Gambit. I mean, you actually look at it here, Gambit wasn't that bad actually on their T sets. Like I said, the CT side of Envy, it is kind of a bit off there. You saw you can attack the dropper a little bit. Problem was, if you're the Gambit guys, you just gave it way too many rounds in the first half. At that point in time, it is insurmountable. You know, you've left yourself in too much of a hole. So it never really ended up being the exciting game it could have been. I think this, if it had gone the distance, would have been a better game than the last 2 games, for example.
And Kenny has struggled again on this map, Moses.
I get the sense that he just with this AWP, I mentioned that this second map out of Envy on their T side, they were much more aggressive, much more assertive. Kenny still just doesn't seem like he wants to be that operator that takes over games anymore. It looks like he's more so focusing on having a well-rounded game. And maybe trying to get a little bit better with some decision making, but that aggressive, explosive op style we're seeing. Duncan mentioned it. I think we talked about it in the back, not on air, but he just hasn't seemed like he's gotten that op nerf hit him hard. I know it's crazy that we still allude to it, but it seems like he never really had the desire to recover after that, as other oppers worked at it, tried to adjust to the change, and Kenny's just never really gotten back to that point. And it almost just feels like he's given up on that old Kenny style.
If you hit 98 ADR and you're the pure entry fragger, you're in God mode at that point in time. Because remember, you're going in there. Sometimes, if you're in the wrong angle, you're just going to die outright without doing any damage. So that kind of consistent damage is unreal.
I think as well, though, we saw in the first half, we talked about EnVyUs having this high ADR and not getting the kills and really struggling, which suggests that, they're not trading particularly efficiently. But there, they didn't need to, because Apex was obviously just picking up 1-2 kills by himself, and at that point, the round is over. So.
Well, that's the benefit of it. And when you have that style that Envy has where, you're following your entry fragger in very close behind him, and it's that, get into the bomb site. It's very much like Virtus Pro, actually. It's that explosive style. Once you hit that bomb site, once you get the first contact, you just kind of, everyone very fast-paced. And if Apex is just getting the first 2 kills and they take over the bomb site so quickly, there's really not very many ways for your opponents to get back into the round if that first kill on Apex is not traded.
Yeah, so just a few final thoughts about Gambit, because obviously we're going to talk about EnVyUs a little bit more. They're coming up next. They're going to have the 2 series tomorrow. People were saying online that this actually, with EnVyUs being in this slump and Gambit matching up well against Virtus Pro and Complexity being Complexity, that Gambit had a chance of making it to the televised finals. Is there anything we've seen there kind of reinforce that idea?
I think so. When you consider there's certainly a chance they could be playing EnVyUs in the semifinals. That could be the matchup we could have there, 2 versus 3 in whatever order. So I think if these teams play again, especially actually in a format where you pick map as opposed to the randomizer here, I think actually different maps, Gambit has a pretty good shot at that.
Yeah, even against Virtus Pro. I don't think they're going to be in any trouble regardless of what seed they end up getting going into Thursday. I think they can still very dangerous for Virtus Pro, still very dangerous for Envy. I think the second map on Cbble didn't really show that, but there's still a team that can overcome Virtus Pro and Envy certainly come into Thursday. Right,
well, we're going to be talking about lots of players on the bye week, not just the ones we've got here at the moment. Maybe there'll be some names bandied about on ELEAGUE Extra. While some of these chaps are going to be at the major, we're going to be showing you who we think are the best players in the world, and you can get involved yourself on social media. Go to Twitter and use the hashtag CSGOARP, CSGO Rifle, CSGO Support, CSGO IGL, or CSGO God to tell us who you think your best players are. And what we're going to do is we're going to get into the final series of the day. It's going to be Virtus Pro versus EnVyUs. This should be a cracker. This is the one we've been looking forward to in the group. We certainly hope you've been looking forward to it as well. So make sure you join us after the break.